Well, Casey, from time to time on this show, you like to horrify me by bringing me something from the depths of the internet that is trending among young people. The last time you did this was with the Italian brain rot meme, which got stuck in my head for weeks afterward, and I cursed the day I met you for introducing it to me. But I understand you have something new to bring me from the dark horrors of the internet today.
I do, Kevin, and this is another story about a shocking use of AI. I think it lands a little bit differently for me than our last segment, because while that one was about chatbots potentially reaching out to children to engage with them in inappropriate conversations, this one is a little bit more about playing songs to shock your family and horrify them with what AI hath wrought.
Okay. I'm listening.
So this is one of those that I did just encounter naturally during one of my regular browses of TikTok, and it goes a little something like this. The scene will open upon a family, typically older people, parents, grandparents, people in their 50s and 60s, and one of their children or other young relatives comes to them and says, "I'm going to play for you the number one country song in the world right now," and then proceeds to hit them with something that is not actually the number one country song in the world and is actually quite filthy.
Okay. So I'm intrigued.
So before we get any further, we will say we are going to be playing some snippets of very explicit songs. So if you are not of a mind to hear some sexually explicit content, you could just skip this segment and go right to the credits this week, and we won't, it won't hurt our feelings. But if you want to know what's going on TikTok, you may want to stick around and listen. So, why do I want to talk about this today, Kevin? Well, for a couple reasons. Number one, I actually do think that there's some pretty funny stuff in here. But number two, I've just had this sense lately that there's a real disconnect out there in the world. Because whenever I go on one of these text-based social networks for millennials, your Blue Skies, your Threads, you get one consistent message about AI art, which is that it sucks and nobody wants it. Okay? Have you seen this yourself?
Of course.
And at the same time, I go on TikTok and I see people using AI to make art all the time, and it's getting hundreds of thousands of likes, millions of streams on Spotify. And it has led me to wonder, is it possible that, in fact, people actually love AI art in ways that at least some of the population isn't ready for?
Yeah, this is really interesting because I share the sense that there's kind of a disconnect between elite taste and kind of mass taste on whether or not AI art is good, and also whether you can tell the difference.
Well, I think you and I have been interested in this phenomenon of AI music for a while now. You may remember several months ago when I sent to you the first AI slop song that really got my attention. Do you remember when I sent you I Glued My Balls to My Butthole Again?
I do. Unfortunately, that one actually had a lot of staying power in the Roose household. I was humming and singing that, much to my wife's chagrin, for many days after that.
It's quite catchy, and if you haven't, heard of it, I'd like to play it. One, just so you can get a flavor of it, but two, I want you to kind of note the quality of the AI here, because you're going to notice a bit of a difference later on. So let's hear a bit of this. This is from an artist who goes by Obscurest Vinyl.
I got my balls to my butthole, yeah. Oh my God, what did I do? I can't take a dump, 'cause now my balls are blocking up my butthole. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Okay, make it stop. Stop. Stop the track.
The part where it says, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on glue." That's genius. Absolutely genius work. So, as wonderful as that song is, you can tell that it's a bit off. The vocals sound sort of fried. But that was months ago, Kevin, and the pace of AI development never stops. And recently I was on TikTok and I started to encounter some much higher fidelity slop songs, and a lot of them were in the country music genre. And I wondered if I might play a couple of those for you.
Yes, and so so I have the context here because I have not seen these TikTok videos. The context in which these are appearing is the sort of adult or teenage children of like boomers and Gen X people playing them for their parents and grandparents to sort of elicit a reaction.
That's exactly right. And so with that, why don't we play My Horse Just Got a BBL?
That booty clapping when we tried to march along, 'cause my horse, she got the biggest BBL in Texas. Lord, I could eat that thing for breakfast.
Okay, let's go ahead and stop it there. Just wanted to make sure we got the chorus.
Okay.
So, what could you just did you note the difference in quality between the first one we heard and this one?
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that is like I can close my eyes and picture being at the Grand Ole Opry.
And just hearing Hank Williams coming out and performing it. Which brings me to the final clip that I want to play for you, Kevin, which is called Country Girls Make Do. And as far as I can tell, this is the one that has really taken off the most. This is where I have seen just the absolute, most reaction videos on TikTok. And I'm going to be honest with you. Before I even thought of doing this as a segment, I saved this to the playlist I create every month in Spotify of music I'm listening to, that particular month, because it was so catchy and so funny that I just was like, this is one I want to remember. So let's hear a bit of Country Girls Make Do. And I do want to get through the chorus too.
Rubbing my goody goody, trying to get in the woods. Cowgirl fishing, dipping and licking, smells so strong and feels so good. I can use about anything to flick my country cowgirl bean. If whiskey's neat and boots still scoot,
Country Girls Make Do. So that's that one. And I want to know what you think.
It's been really fun hosting this podcast. Unfortunately, this will be the last episode. So thank you to all of our listeners out there.
I did wait to pitch this until our executive producer was on vacation. Hope you're having a good time, Jen.
This was Casey's fault.
So that one, by the way, that last one, Country Girls Make Do, the artist is called Beats by AI. It appears to be the creation of someone who goes by Sam Stillerman. So this appears to be a kind of new avenue for creators who want to make something popular on the apps, and they're going nuts. One of the clips for Country Girls Make Do I saw had 750,000 likes. So this is like, yes, still a niche phenomenon, but it's getting a lot of eyeballs on it, and it seems like people are really enjoying it.
Dear God, I mean, this to me is the tragedy of parenting.
Say more.
You invest, yourself into parenting a child, you raise them thoughtfully and mindfully, you set them on the right path and get them a good education. And if you're really successful, someday they might turn around and play Country Girls Make Do while they film you on TikTok for views.
I don't know in the end that there is something all that novel about this. I can remember 30 years ago being in middle school and listening to like Adam Sandler CDs where he wrote sexually explicit novelty songs and cracking up with all of my
Tenacious
friends.
D. Lots of artists in this sort of shock genre.
But again, what's new is that if you're not somebody who has a great voice, you can't play any musical instrument at all, you can now just go buy a Suno subscription and make a song that seems plausibly like a country song, and all of a sudden, get hundreds of thousands of likes.
And is your contention, and I'm going to say up front, I think this is a bit of a stretch to classify this as AI art.
Some people say it's the kind of stretch that you would encounter if you glued your balls to your butthole again.
Stop.
Sorry, go ahead.
So I think this is like a novelty. I do not think these songs are going to be topping the charts. I think this is basically prank humor for like 17-year-olds.
I think that that's absolutely right, and yet I don't see any reason why it would end there, right? I think people are happy to use apps like Suno in this kind of jokey context because there's no expectations for them. If you're an unknown artist, nobody's going to get mad at you for doing this. You can just sort of put it out there and see what people think. But will some name brand artist be releasing some kind of AI-powered music in the near future? I fully expect that.
Yeah. I mean, I think we should coin a term for this genre.
What's that?
I don't know. You tell me.
Slop rock?
Slop rock?
Yeah.
Or shock slop?
Yeah, there's shock slop. I think shock slop is a subcategory of slop rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got this sorted. I think conceptually, I agree with you that there are young people out there who just have a much different relationship with AI art and AI creativity than I do. I fully accept that those people are going to grow up into like consumers and tastemakers, and that probably all of these sort of sentimental attachments that people like you and I have to like human created art will inevitably morph over time. I just have to think there's like a higher and better use of this technology that humanity has spent something on the order of trillions of dollars developing than making songs about filthy country music.
You don't think that there is something miraculous about the fact that the same technology that made country girls make do can also be used to find novel new drugs? That's incredible to me.
It truly is a dual-use technology.
Yeah. Can be used for good and better. That's what Kevin means when he says that. So, yeah.
I'm going to need Josh Hawley and any other legislators who are looking at our last segment about Meta AI chatbots to also take a close look at banning these songs from my TikTok feed and Casey's, frankly.
Yeah. So listen, I'm going to keep my eyes trained on these folks that say that, AI art is all bad and we shouldn't use it and we should only support human art. I understand where that impulse is coming from. I love human-based art. I want to see it continue to flourish. And I'm also going to keep my eye on these merry pranksters that are using AI in these unsanctioned, filthy, and disgusting ways, because I think the history of art is that stuff that starts out on the fringes does eventually move into the mainstream. And this could be the vanguard, Kevin, of a new AI slop rock movement that takes over the charts.
Yes. They're saying country girls make do on TikTok is this generation's equivalent of Marcel Duchamp's urinal.
Exactly. There's a new champ, and it's not Duchamp. Sam Stillerman, and Beats by AI.
What a world.
Anyway, do you want to hear any more of that song?
Nope.
Okay. Hey, that's the end of this clip. If you liked what you saw, head on over to our page and subscribe, and you can get the full podcast. We do a show like this almost every week on tech and the future. Head on over there now and subscribe.